I continue to go back to that learning today when I'm either helping the business support a large investment project, or even owning my own projects like this finance ERP transformation that we talked about earlier. The questions, I start with my finance questions, which are what's your budget, what's your plan, what are the results you're going to achieve. But I also, in the back of my mind, keep in there, but what is the team? Have you set them up for success? What are the tools that they need? What are the people that you need? And the businesses in the industry that I've been in have been ones where people are the primary expense that we manage in terms of budgets. Our headcount is the biggest line on our P&L. And so when you think about capital allocation, it's really a question of human resources allocation. And so I very much have learned that finance and HR need to be joined at the hip, and you need to think about the financial results, but also the people that are going to deliver the plan that you're trying to achieve. So I knew enough to know that the most important thing in those first 30 days is to meet the people. But, as I said in the strategic story, it's all about the people and the relationships to get you there. So I knew that I had to do that. I think what I would tell myself looking back is, you can try to learn about the business. That's also the most important thing, but you're never going to learn everything in those first 30 days. And so have a first pass at it, but literally tell yourself and tell the people that you're meeting that I'm going to come back in 6 months, and I'm sorry, but we might repeat this exact conversation 6 months from now, but I'm going to understand it better or in a different way in six months. So I think it's knowing that your learning is very important at the beginning, but it will continue to deepen over time.
Yes. We always like to ask our guests to reflect a little on the personal side for us. We're wondering, what is something that maybe many of your colleagues might not know about you, something generally just not known about you? Anything you'd share with us?
Look, anyone who knows me already knows that I have kids because I talk about them constantly. My kids who are 7, 11, and 13 now. But if you ask me about something on the personal side, I have to start there. And I think, look, I just said my oldest just turned 13, so I have a teenager in the house. I will have a teenager in the house for a long time to come. I think being a parent of a teenager has a lot in common with being a CFO, because you have to get very comfortable with the fact that you are making decisions, almost on a fiduciary basis. You're making decisions for somebody in the case of the teenager, or a group in the case of the business. They may not like them at the time, but you have to make decisions that you think are going to be the best in the long run, even if it causes a painful conversation at the moment. And the other thing you have to know as both a CFO and a parent to a teenager is, you will make mistakes, and your audience will be merciless on you when you make mistakes. And that's okay. You have to get comfortable with that and sit in that seat nonetheless.
Just one last personal question. As a mathematician, what is the imprint that's on you from those years of studying that you had?
That's a great question. I think that out of it, I try to extract a little bit. So mathematics is about seeing an individual problem and then trying to extract it to the general case. And what does this tell me, what are the patterns I see here? And what can this tell me about the next pattern? So I think I keep that mindset a little bit when I see a question or a calculation. I try to think about what does it mean more broadly, and are there any wider lessons to draw from it?
Interesting. I'm glad we asked. We are up to our last question, where we're going to ask you to look forward finally. And we're wondering about the next 12 months and what your priorities are as CFO. What would those be?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I mentioned our finance transformation, so I am super excited about us continuing on that path and getting us close to a place in the next 12 months where we can really start to develop and deliver the value from that. We can take finance to a place that I think the organization hasn't seen before in terms of how much we can contribute to the business. So that's one. On the Verisk side overall, I'm excited about us continuing to deliver on our plans. Our growth plans. We've been expanding margins, and we will continue to do that. So we are both becoming more efficient, and we're also investing in the business in some of the areas that I talked about before. So I think you'll see us really move along the path on that customer-centric organization and on that, delivering data and technology solutions to our customers. So I think those are the two areas.
Elizabeth Mann, thank you for joining us on CFO Thought Leader.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great conversation.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth.